You're free now.
Energy incubation. Everything on this reality, down to the atomic level and even smaller than that, is based on being an energy incubator. In order to stay alive, to function, to live, to be animate, you need to get energy from somewhere. And where you get energy from determines what kind of being you are. You can actually extract the information, or what I would call a template of the information of what's really going on here on this dimension from other objects. You don't always have to use yourself as the specimen. That also allows you to become non-biased, because when you start seeing what's happening to other entities and other beings, you start to develop more compassion. You start forgetting about your situation and how bad it may be, and in fact you start seeing, well, shoot, my situation is not bad at all. If I'm on internet right now, then my situation is nothing like so many other people around the world where there's a complete lockdown of who they are because of the particular soul group that they're in. Today we're going to talk about light energies also, like minerals, lighter energies. Energies not like flesh, which is what a lot of people are using. They're using the eating meats and things as a form of energy. How can you ever connect to all if you choose to embark in termination? Termination is the opposite direction. Anything that wants to live will run from you. When you consume it, it goes into your body and something's got to digest it. And because you're not calibrated to digest it, you're a mammal, eat these artificial crazy foods, there are now worms and bacteria that live in, like you'll see, there's even worms that grow in minerals and metals. You see what I mean? So you have these different life forms now living inside of you, suggesting what you should do. And it's already been mapped out. There's a fish worm, there's a pork worm, there's a beef worm, there's a chicken worm. And all of these worms get inside of the body and grow something to the tune of, some of them, even a foot every year. So some people have these huge worms inside of them that have attached themselves to the person's system. And this is a secret to why the word cancer, if you understand entomology, means the serpent. Sir, of course, let's just take that out. Can is, of course, the indigenous name for the serpent. But if you take the sir part and understand that connects to serpents, because it's a dying cell. It's the low vibratory base pillar frequency that one needs to ascend beyond. By the external reality, the same thing is going on, because the external reality is only a projection of what's going on in the inside. And that's the key. So what happens is that inside of the body, you may have developed a symbiotic relationship with a parasite. You accumulate all these parasites inside of the body. And then what happens is, as they begin to accumulate, they attach themselves to your body. So they're really actually sucking your blood. They're not necessarily eating just the food that's coming in, even though they're absorbing that through their skin. They're also attached to a point where if you pull one, you'll actually start to bleed. That's why you need to allow them to detach themselves so that you can pass them. But what happens is, because this thing is pulling from your energy, and it's also defecating itself inside of you, meaning that everything has its feces. So when they eat what's inside of you, they defecate inside of you. And this serves to toxify you even more. So now when you want to see why are the masses like in this trance, and why, it's because of what they're eating. Really, it's not a game. That what's happening is that over a whole lifetime of bad eating, they're never leaving the body. The person's never going into a high vibration to get rid of them, and thus they accumulate. Now, in addition to that, people who've gone into a high vibratory frequency can find themselves after that somewhat sick and disorientated, and then once they heal, things will pass out of them, and then they'll find themselves in a higher state of consciousness. So this is a real thing, people. This is not just some ethereal external dream. This is about you actually seeing that inside the body, what's going on inside the body is what's also going on in the external world, and that you're controlling that to a certain degree, but losing control rapidly. And this is why we want to put you back in the driver's seat. See, now you should get the motivation that is necessary to begin the cleanse, however it may come about for you, mentally, spiritually, and physically, that kind of cleanse, because you get to the full realization, at least if you can conceive what I'm explaining to you today, of why everything in your direct world may be haywire or out of control for you. I'm telling you today that there is a real system of knowledge that allows you to get in full control of who you are. And there is no overseer or government or these kind of individuals that can impede your progress. But that system in itself, which we talked about, self-substantiation, in the condition in which you've been put in, may seem a little difficult at first, because there are a lot of vibratory frequencies. They're not just the worms. There are other energies that you can't even see, all encouraging you to act and behave and do certain things. And this is where you have to gain control. Now remember, this is not for me to, I'm not telling you there's ghosts and phantoms and all this stuff around you and they want to kill you and they want you to die. All they want to do is live. If they can do it off your energy, then they're like thumbs up. Okay? What I'm telling you is that they now need to be given an ultimatum. Either they rise into the higher frequencies that you're going to, because you're the control, you're the soul, you're the sun, you're the energy. So where you decide to move, then everyone else has to go, or else they have to go. You see how that works? So you ride in the vibratory frequency. If you guys don't want to die, you tell your guys, look, if you guys don't want to die, you can take the next shuttle out of here. In this world, all of your experiences will go with you if you become compassionate by the end of your life. If you never reach compassion and full on what people call love, you will forget everything that's here, because you will only have a low density experience, and the low density can't move into the higher vibration. So what I'm telling you is that during what they call the reincarnation process, when a person dies, it happens, then they come out of the body. Now, if all of their experiences are dense experiences, they stay in the body. All of the sex and the debauchery and the thievery and the drunkenness and the jealousy and all that, those are fleshly based and animal based traits. So they stay there, and what leaves is whatever can be estranged from it. So remember, that means if you engage most of your life in these negative activities, when it's time to be weighed, for better lack of words, there will be nothing really left. And so there will be little memory about what happened last life, just some, residue when you incarnate again. Versus if you can get into higher levels of experience here that are the experiences that are etheric experiences that will carry with you beyond the physical body, then you'll be fully conscious of what's going on as you move throughout your incarnations. Get this information out there and get other people aware that, look, man, it's inside. You know, reptilians running, bipedal reptilian running around. The reality is running, if it is one running around in 3D, it's wholly projected itself off of a large group of people's minds. Why don't you, instead of bringing some demon out of the vortex, actually bring yourself back into this reality to help these people out and help them expand? Because, as I said, we're all seeds growing